Video games have some of the best Christmas events ever. Turn up the bacon and Merry Christmas. How's it going, everyone? Frank here. Today I'm going to be talking about some video game related holiday / Christmas events. Our family at home, we celebrate Christmas. I know other people celebrate other things. Good for you if you do. Cool, whatever. It's just, that's what we do. While we do a lot of family events, me personally, being a gamer, I like to go and find the different video game events that are happening specifically or usually inside of an MMO. As a lot of people know, because it's such a popular game still, World of Warcraft has holiday events throughout the entire year for all kinds of holidays. Some of them, I'd say most of them are more recognized as American holidays, or at least holidays that are celebrated in America, and some of them are not. Some of them are just generic, some of them are New Year. There's a Chinese New Year also, and that's pretty cool. But of course, this time of year there's the Christmas event that's going on, so both the Horde and the Alliance can go and get presents from the weird in-game versions of Santa Claus that they have. Pretty funny stuff. A lot of those are good. It's a lot of fun. A lot of quests to do there. So I definitely enjoy that. I encourage you, if you do play those games and you haven't done those holiday quests, even if you've done them before, just do them again. They're a lot of fun. It's silly, and you can get some pretty cool rewards for it. Another one that I like, that I've been subscribed to since they came out, is Star Trek Online. Now, every year at Christmas time, the character Q from Star Trek shows up and makes his appearance at all of the main faction locations for the three main factions, the Federation, the Klingons, and the Romulans. And he just gives people quests and transports them to this, or teleports or magically whisks them away to this, holiday world where there's all kinds of winter games and things like that. It's pretty cool. There's pretty neat rewards for that. It's not really something that is a requirement by any means, but there are, if people play the daily quests for that, there's actually a really cool ship that you can get at the end of it. And there's just a lot of random good rewards for the players that play. So if you play Star Trek Online, which by the way is free, I think is a great thing to do. I subscribed to Star Trek Online way back at the beginning, and I bought the lifetime membership back when it cost a monthly fee to pay. And of course, then it went to free, but then people that got the lifetime like I did have the benefit of paying, or what people would normally pay for to get the freemium aspect of the game. We don't have to pay for that because we paid for the lifetime before, so it's kind of cool. I'm building up tokens and I don't even have to do anything. Before I get to my favorite, which is only my favorite because of a very specific thing that I found one day, I'm going to give an honorable mention to an old screensaver called Johnny Castaway. It was made by Sierra Software, which I don't even know where Sierra is anymore. They went to make games and they went to do something else. They were bought out by someone else. But either way, Johnny Castaway was an old screensaver for Windows 3.1. And I think it worked on Windows 95 also. But you couldn't really do much with it. You just watched it and it told some silly story about some castaway named Johnny, who is, a castaway on a deserted island with one palm tree, and he would just kind of do random silly things, fish for food and pull up a boot, sometimes pull up a crab, so, whatever. And during different times of the year, depending on when your calendar was set on the computer, different things will show up. Like in October, a little jack-o'-lantern would just show up on the side of the screen. And at Christmas time, a tiny little Christmas tree shows up on the side of the screen. So, and there's a few other world events that, as a world events, there are the calendar-based things that happen in the screensaver, but I can't find it anywhere. If you happen to know where I can get Johnny Castaway to work as a screensaver on either Mac OS or Windows 10, please let me know. if it's still being made out there, I would love to see that, or even if I have to run it on a VMware and install Windows 95 just so I can see it, that'd be great. I wouldn't mind doing that, I don't care. But now the main one to me now, the one that's my favorite is my favorite because my first MMO experience was EverQuest. Now, EverQuest is a really cool game. It's still going on. It has changed so many times. There are so many expansions for it now. And back when I played it, there were no expansions. And then there was a first one, then there was a second one. So back in the day, there were no actual in-game events that were official when EverQuest was new for the holidays. Now, they have in-game, employees. There were Sony employee GMs that would actually do things with the players, and it was a lot of fun. The players really enjoyed it. The GMs seemed to enjoy it, and it was good. And every now and then they would do these things. On the Luclin server, or Luclin, it depends on how you want to pronounce it, Luclin, and I don't even know if that server exists anymore because I don't play the game anymore. But back in the day, a couple of players from that server submitted to the gaming website Alakazam a poem based on the EverQuest world that was kind of a rewrite of The Night Before Christmas. So which was really nice is that they gave this poem to the community of players for everyone to enjoy. So I'm going to be reading it here. There will be a link in the description to where you can go to the Alakazam website and read it for yourself. It's fantastic. But I'm going to go ahead and read it here with, I'm going to see if I can figure out some kind of an EverQuest montage, or maybe just video game montage for holidays. But if you've played EverQuest, you know how legit this poem is. It was written by, we don't know the human names, but the character names were Toner Whispersong and Raven Told Wiki. Sure, Wiki. Oh wow, what a name. Enjoy. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and throughout Norrath all the creatures were stirring, invoking their wrath. The merchants were stocked, full of rations galore, but greed had indeed made for wanting much more. The players were camped by the spawns of great loot, hoping for GBS or journeyman boots. With I in my lament and he in his plate, we just partied up for a raid of plain hate. With buff after buff we prepared for the fight. We all settled down for a long frenzied night. When over in Velios there arose such a clatter, we ported from Hate Plain to see what was the matter. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow was perfect for pulling the shardworms below, when what through my eye of Zom should I see but an ogre named Santa Claus coming towards me. As he approached, he was scratching his butt. He belched and he burped like Jabba the Hutt. His pants hung way down, exposing his crack. He distributed gifts from his ransacker's pack. A PGT, CGS, SSOY, Oracle Robe, Ghoulbane, Crystalline Eye. He threw them to newbies, and they cheered with a woot. Come to this zone, Santa's giving fat loot. I squeezed through the crowd with my hands out in front. I'll take one hand slashing, piercing, or blunt. But Santa Claus looked at me, glaringly too. For greed you get bupkis, nothing for you. I felt like a fool with my hands open wide. No twinks here tonight, only newbies with pride. I lowered my head and said with a sigh, I don't want anything. It was really a lie. The cheers could be heard to the fade arcs and back. I only stopped because I needed a snack. I turned around slowly and started to leave, when Clog tapped my shoulder. You have to believe. I turned back and conned him. He came in deep red, and an idea was forming inside of my head. I sent a guild chat and called to my mates. Let's take this guy down before his ass gates. But just as I got my twin yaks in my hands, a rumbling cloud fell and covered the lands. Santa Claus has challenged you to a duel. I howled and prepared to take down the fool. Despite his great weight, the ogre was fast. Before I could react, he started to cast. My HP had dropped as I stood alone. I had no other choice but to limp to the zone. The spectators all cheered, "Way to go, big guy!" But Santa had something he wanted to try. He healed my weak body before I zoned out. This Uber GM had some kind of clout. I kneeled at Glog's feet, a humbled young man. I knew at that moment he had much greater plans. But my guildmate Alpha was ready to kill. He ran through the zone, shouting, "Blood I will spill!" "You'll ruin our event with greed on your hands. You'll not ruin my fun while I'm in these lands. To PK a GM, you think that is fine? You've ruined your own lands. You'll not ruin mine." I begged him to stop as he readied a spell. My words went unheard, on deaf ears they fell. My body was consumed by his sunstrike. Damn, this corpse run's gonna be quite a hike. Right as my life passed in front of my eyes, he opened his mouth, and to our surprise, he spoke words of wisdom to preface his kills. I listened with interest, my mind filled with thrills. "Christmas is time to remember the joys of all the less fortunate girls and boys. There's plenty out there who have much less than you. Remember, they pay $9.95 too. So next time you're camping that uber rare item, don't go hang out forever just so you can spite 'em. Be well, lads and lasses. Remember your fate. You've been slain by Clog. Loading. Please wait." Memories of loading after being killed. That was the great thing about EverQuest. It was a different type of thing. You had a spawn point that someone had to actually cast a spell to make you spawn at that specific location, and it could only happen inside of a town. So there was a corpse run, and when your character died, you had to go back to where your character died to get your stuff off your character, and you couldn't just say, "You know what, I'm busy, I'll go and do it next week," because your corpse would eventually rot and go away, and your stuff would be gone. So you needed to take the time to go. And because suddenly all your stuff's on your corpse, it better not be on the other side of 100 dragons where you can't get to it, because you're just never going to make it. It's pretty crazy. That's what resurrections were for. And you lost experience. Does that still happen? Do you play EverQuest? Does anyone out there play EverQuest? Do you still lose experience if you die? Because you could theoretically make it all the way up to the top, and then you could just put yourself in a death spiral and just decrease your levels. But I'm going off on a gaming tangent there. Sorry about that. Back to Christmas. Merry Christmas. There you go. See, I'm back on track. Being that this is a Christmas event, a Christmas show for today, even though it's really kind of a video game show is what I'm talking about. As you know, I try to end all my episodes of Turn Up the Bacon with a world record from the year 1976, and I scoured through my world record book. I'm going to grab it. Guinness Book of World Records, 1976. Yep. And I found one from 1976 called Christmas Wrapping, and I can guarantee, I've just seen things on the news that show that this has definitely been surpassed a billion times over. Christmas wrapping. The largest wrapping ever constructed was 42 feet in length and 7 foot in diameter, built in December of 1972 for a Christmas showroom display in Essex, England. It was made to conceal a Ford Escort. We all know that people go bigger and badder these days, so there's been some I've seen entire buildings wrapped up in paper for Christmas. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's no longer a world record. So that's it. So thanks for watching today. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, if you don't mind, do me a favor, give me a Christmas present by clicking like and maybe sharing this with family and friends so they can subscribe. That'd be a great present for me. You don't have to though. If you don't want to, it's cool. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch, and you can find me right here. Don't forget our website is turnupthebacon.com, and I don't really do a whole lot with it because for the most part it just redirects people to here or to the Twitch channel where I do some gaming. And that's it. So anyway, Merry Christmas, turn up the bacon, and I'll see you next year. Oh, I can do the mannequin challenge. I'm going to do the Christmas version of the mannequin challenge for myself. Ready? Here we go. Unfortunately, there's no one to move the camera around, so it has really very little effect.